Hey everyone, I'm Josh, and in this video I want to talk about self-sabotage. Self-sabotaging behavior is one of those things that all of us deal with, and it can be rather difficult to handle because you first need to notice yourself even doing it, then you need to have the courage to acknowledge that and know that you're getting in your own way and be okay with that, and then two, you need to fix the behaviors that are causing the self-sabotage and then fix the things that are driving that behavior, the actual causes of your self-sabotaging. And self-sabotage is so prevalent that I truly don't believe anyone ends up getting to a point where they never self-sabotage anymore. I think it's something that will affect us our entire lives, and it's just a matter of you getting better at dealing with it and getting quicker to spot yourself doing it. I don't believe there's like a enlightened person out there who doesn't self-sabotage in some way, shape, or form. I think all of us will engage in it. In fact, the very thing that inspired me to make this video is because I noticed that I've been self-sabotaging, and it's one of those things where I noticed it was happening and I kind of still just allowed it to continue going on. And there are a whole bunch of reasons here, but to basically cut it short, it's because my life hasn't exactly been what I wanted it to be leading up to me moving to Colorado. I was dealing with just a lot of mental health stuff like stress and anxiety and just being unhappy with my life in Los Angeles because there were so many things I wanted to change. I wanted to live with people I could be honest with, because even for how amazing my roommate was, he is a great guy, I felt like I couldn't be fully honest with him, and that made living with him a bit difficult. And again, that was a me issue. It didn't really have all that much to do with him. He was a fantastic dude, and if we weren't roommates, we would have been awesome friends. I just basically hit a point in my life where I either want to be alone or live with people I can be honest with, which is why I'm okay living with my parents right now, because I can be honest with them. But living alone in Los Angeles is so incredibly difficult. It got so windy I had to come inside, but as I was saying, Los Angeles is incredibly expensive to live in. You basically need to make like $70,000 a year minimum to be able to afford your own place. That's $70K minimum to do it. You probably want to be making even more than that to live comfortably. It's just such an expensive place. So staying there, my mental health was declining because I basically had no real way of obtaining that goal of living by myself. It just wasn't really feasible. And then on top of that, I was dealing with a job I didn't like, and it was slowly killing me over time. It was making me get gray hairs in my beard, and I did quit that job right before leaving, and that was probably the happiest I'd been in a while, just not having to work and being able to go film videos in the morning and go do things in the morning in Los Angeles when there weren't many people out and about, and it was awesome. That was like, if I could live that way all the time, maybe I would have stayed in LA, but doing that, you basically would have to be unemployed, and how the hell are you going to support yourself in Los Angeles if you're unemployed? So yeah, there was no way of staying there. But basically, now you have an idea of why my mental health was declining so much. I was stressed out and anxious because I felt like there was nowhere I could go really to be fully comfortable, to just be able to unwind and relax, because I would go from a job that I didn't like to living at home in a situation I didn't like, and there was like nowhere away from those two things. That was my whole life, from work to going home, and then the weekends were the only time where I could escape all of it, and 2 days really isn't enough to deal with that. And I was dealing with this situation for probably a year and a half in total, and it basically made me become anxious when I've never been an anxious person ever in my life. Like, I've always been super grounded. In fact, many of my friends didn't believe I was anxious because I still came off grounded to them. But no, my heart would be racing in my chest. And it was not fun. It was something I'd never dealt with before. So all of that is what made me start self-sabotaging. And the self-sabotaging that I was engaging in was basically delaying working towards my long-term goal, which is turning this content into a business. In fact, I'm sure some of you probably even noticed, there are a few of you who have been talking to me over time, and some of you ask for like updates on me turning my content into business with life coaching and whatnot. They ask my status on that, and it hasn't changed all that much over time. So I'm sure some people know that I was self-sabotaging like this. I wasn't really making any progress. I was basically just spending time doing a bunch of random things that weren't working towards this goal. And I even knew I was doing it, and it sucked because I didn't know fully why I was engaging in this behavior at first. And even now, there are still some facets of it that I still need to figure out the underlying reasons and why I'm engaging in this. Like some ideas that I have come up when I've thought about it, or that maybe I'm a bit afraid of success, maybe I'm afraid that I'll fail, maybe I'm afraid that I'll start offering life coaching and like nobody will sign up and I'll just be there like, oh, cool, like I just spent all this time working on this and nobody showed up. But I don't really think that will be the case, and I do understand that you need to do a lot of like business stuff like sales and marketing to get clients in the first place. Although I do feel like I've developed a lot of relationships that hopefully I'll have some people who would be interested in coaching from me. But basically my whole point is I understood that starting this business would change my life completely. And there was a part of me that was a bit scared about that, and dealing with all that stress and anxiety just made it even worse because now I had all these emotions I needed to deal with in order to feel good enough mentally to then start working towards this goal of mine. But I kind of found that there wasn't all that much I could do to get rid of the stress and anxiety. It has followed me, of course, because I dealt with a year and a half of being in that situation that I didn't like. It's going to take some time for my nervous system to get back to baseline, and then a bit more time to get to a good place. So I knew that even before I moved, and I'm still dealing with a bit of it, but thankfully things are getting better. Now I've almost been in Colorado for a month, so things are definitely getting a lot better, but there's still those lingering after effects from living in that way for as long as I did, that way that I didn't like. But thankfully, after having some good conversations with some good friends of mine, I have been able to get back to a good place. And yesterday, and even this past week, I spent a lot of time tweaking the ideas for my future business, and basically I have a website in the making that will hopefully be done soon enough, and then that will basically be the alpha version of my business, starting life coaching, offering services to all of you guys and hopefully being able to help you out. And even now it's still crazy to me that I allowed myself to get in my own way in this regard, because this is literally what I view as my ticket to freedom eventually, not having to work for other people my whole life, because I don't like doing that. And I really want to help other people. I want to provide myself a living by doing something that actually speaks to me, that I'm passionate about, which is helping other people. It would be amazing to get paid to help other people live better lives. Like, I can't think of many better ways of funding your livelihood than that. Like, that would be awesome. And there I was, not working towards this, and I even knew it as it was happening, and I was also trying to avoid like being too hard on myself over it and giving myself some space to be able to decompress because of all that crap that I was dealing with for so long on end. That it takes time to be able to work through those things. But basically with this video, I just wanted to be a bit transparent and honest about how self-sabotaging affects all of us. I mean, I make content to try to help other people, and I am not immune to self-sabotaging behavior at all, obviously, right? Or I wouldn't be making this video. So I just wanted to let you guys all know that it's something we will deal with our whole entire lives. I mean, I truly don't believe there's anybody out there who doesn't engage in some form of self-sabotage. There may be some people who have gotten really good at noticing when they're doing it, enough to stop it as soon as possible. But then there are times where we're going to be a bit weak because we're just dealing with a bunch of stress and other things that are bringing us down. So then we may even notice that we're engaging it and still not stop ourselves from doing it. And I just want to let you guys know that that's okay. You don't need to beat yourself up over it. But at the same time, you do, of course, still want to maintain the bigger picture in your mind's eye and know what you're working towards. But again, you don't need to be super hard on yourself and notice that you're self-sabotaging and then start like stabbing yourself with a knife in your mind because you're like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? This isn't good. Because that will only make things worse. Then you may devolve into even more self-sabotage because you're beating yourself up. Instead, give yourself grace, give yourself space to be able to work through those emotions, and then you can start working on fixing the behavior and those underlying things, those influences that are causing you to engage in that self-sabotage. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. Just wanted to be a bit real with some things I've been dealing with in the hopes that it will help many of you, because somehow I've found, and this is really awesome, but when I share my own experience, often it helps you guys, even if I don't have like an underlying message or like a thing to grow from within the video. If you guys just hear that I'm dealing with things and how I work through them, it helps you guys, and I think that's really cool. So that's what I wanted to do in this video, just be transparent and honest and let you guys know that, yeah, recently I've been self-sabotaging, but I'm working through it, and I will incredibly soon have life coaching services that I can offer you guys and help you guys become the people you want to be. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys in this video. Truly hope you enjoyed it. If you like content like this, be sure to throw a thumbs up on it for the algorithm and subscribe if you haven't already to see more content like this. And I will see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci.